Hi everybody. How you doing? I hope everybody's well. Everybody having a good time. Let me pop out the chat so I can see it over here. There we go. Okay. Hi Hans from Lüneburg. Thanks for joining. Hi Dev from Colorado. Hi Jens from Niederösterreich. Nachbar. Hallo. Hi Hermann from Netherlands. How you doing? So we have a lot of stuff today with the color theory. I will try to make it simple and fun to look at that. So good stuff. Also, thanks for all of your cool posts in the Facebook group. A lot of amazing stuff. Really cool artists in the group. That's amazing. Am I online? Is my sound working? I think so, right? Everything should be good. Also, no, that should be visible. Over here, no, on the other side. I'm always confused with the mirroring. So over here, Black Friday. That's today, I think is the last day. No, tomorrow is still possible to get that Black Friday bundle. Just to put that out there. Ending tomorrow night, basically. Okay. Link is in the chat at some point. The bot is posting it. Should I post it right now? I'm not sure. Hi Armstrong from Canada. How you doing? Hi Barry. Thanks for joining from Australia. Pretty cool. Hi, how are you doing? I have some relatives there from Melbourne, actually. Hi, Quart. How you doing? Hi, Ellen from Ohio. Thanks for joining. Pretty awesome. Hi, Guy. How you doing? Yeah, thank you very much. That's pretty good. Yeah. I hope that everybody's enjoying it so much. That's really good. Hi, Duster from Netherlands. Thanks for joining. Pretty awesome. Okay. Whew, yeah, we have a lot of good stuff to talk about. By the way, and this is like, I know, very, very strange this month because there is Black Friday, but I still have to put out my creative pack. So I have to sell another thing this month, basically start of next month, because I'm going to be a little bit late with the pack. So I'm going to do it next Tuesday. So I know 2 sales things, one after another, is a little bit strange, is a little bit much, but it's kind of the overlap of the timing. So it's kind of, yeah, it's just coincidence, basically. Hi, Marco. Thanks for joining. Hi, Martin from Bern. Bern? Bern. Hi. Thanks for joining. Bern or Bernie? I'm not sure. No kiwi today. Okay. Hi, Taineshi from the Philippines. Nice. Hi. And Ellen from France. Hi. Thanks for joining. Pretty awesome. Okay. Let's talk for a bit. How are you doing? How is everything? By the way, I was super surprised. I asked this question, what is everybody's favorite focal length on the lenses? And I didn't know so many people have like these expensive prime lenses in my group. I was really surprised by that. A lot of people like, 35 1.4, 85 1.4, all this kind of expensive glass. I was not expecting that, but it's pretty cool. That we have so dedicated photographers in our Facebook group. That's really amazing. Really? Burn in English has an E at the end? Okay, interesting. I didn't know that. Hi, Roy from West Virginia. Thanks for joining. Pretty awesome. Hey, Guy, I'm thinking about getting the 24 to 70 for full frame, but I'm not sure. I'm like, maybe it's like, I don't know. I have to test it because I know I just bought my camera and the lens, and right now I'm already want to buy another lens. Maybe I should save the money or invest it in photo projects, but kind of, there's Black Friday deals right now, so I could save a little bit on that. And I'm thinking about either 24 to 70 or what's the other one? 14 to 24, which is like fisheye, basically. But you get like, I really like this very wide space that you have in the pictures. You get this kind of larger than life look, and you can still crop into the picture if you want. And they're really great for landscapes, and also I think for cityscapes, not so great for street photography. Although I've seen a video of a street photographer, he uses 85 millimeter and he makes amazing pictures, and he says he likes the distance. So it's down to just training and getting better using it for that, you know, because usually you want to have something wider for street photography, but apparently it works, so it's pretty cool. 24 to 70 is a perfect all-rounder. I know, but it's like the classic thing when you take a photo, it looks like that, because this is usually is the kit lens, you know. So if you don't have a full frame, the equivalent in a on your normal or small frame would be, I would say, not exactly, but 18 to 35, the kit lens you get, that's basically that. Although 24 to 70 is more like 16 to 40 something, I think. I'm not sure right now. It's a little bit different, but it's kind of the same, you know. So same, but different, as you know. So I'm kind of worried that you get these kind of normal looking pictures. You know, of course, you can make amazing pictures with every kind of camera, of course. So every kind of lens, I'm meaning by that. Every kind of focal length. Yeah. Okay, so let's, I recently bought a 10 to 20 for APS-C. That's also cool. Very nice. Really awesome. Yeah. And when you have like full frame, it's even wider with the same length. So yeah, that's really interesting, because I have, for my Nikon, I have a 10.5 millimeter 2.8. And I could actually buy an adapter for my Sony. I don't have automatic focus, but with a fisheye, you don't really need automatic focus. So, I mean, I would save 1,200 euros by buying an adapter that costs 200 euros and then using my old fisheye lens, which is still very good, but not autofocus in that case. That might be an option. And yeah, let's see. Okay. Let's get started with the color theory, maybe. Or should we talk a little bit more about lenses? I don't know. You decide. I don't want to hold you for too long. Although it's the first time we have a conversation in here, so that's pretty good. Let's keep it going. Before I start talking again, everybody starts to be quiet again. Yeah. So, kit lens, the higher f-stop, 2.8. Makes a difference. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. This is what I'm worried a little bit about, because 2.8 is already pretty good, but you don't get that kind of self-separation from the background. You can get that separation depending on how close the subject is and how you photograph it, but you don't get that like nice bokeh like from 1.4, and you don't get that kind of separation like 1.4, you know. But you don't need it for every kind of photo, right? Even if I have my 1.4, I often use a higher aperture to just get more how can I say, sharpness in the picture, and also more detail in the background, stuff like that. So it's not always necessary to use the biggest or the smallest opening. Anyway, no, the biggest opening. You know what I mean. The smallest aperture, sorry. Getting confused. Lens talk, yeah, at the moment a little bit. Yeah. Jens says 150 to 600. Wow. So that's for wildlife, right? Like if you photograph sports or birds, stuff like that, maybe. Yeah. I think I will go on Monday. Oh, the stores don't have open. I can't go to a store and try it. I mean, I can try it with my Nikon, the old Nikon, and the 15 to 35, which I know from experience actually. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like if I spend so much money, I want to have something that gives me like like an amazing different picture, you know, and not something like normal that I have with my old camera too, you know. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's like the thing that worries me most, is like spend so much money and then I get something that's like I have had always with other cameras. So yeah. Sigma has great lenses for Sony line. Excellent sharpness. Yes, absolutely. Actually, the Sigma lenses, if you see a lot of reviews online, you will find that a lot of the Sigma lenses are better than the Sony lenses from the sharpness, often from the quickness of the focus. That's really interesting. On the other side, they are very heavy, but I'm not too worried about that because I'm not traveling with it. I'm just like going there to take a photo and then like for projects, you know. So I'm not worried about the weight right now. Yeah. The 150 to 600 is one I will buy in future. Ah, okay, I see. Oh, we talked about that, I think. Did we talk on the Facebook chat, right? About this. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. If you want to do nature photography, that's, I think, pretty awesome to have something like that. Yeah. Hi, author from Nanaimo. Where's Nanaimo? I have to check that. That's an interesting name for location. Let's go. 1 second. Oh, in Canada. Okay, interesting. Nanaimo. That's a nice name for location. Oh, wow. It's like, up in the north and, okay, no, southern area, southwest. Very close to the border. Interesting. Okay. Ah, next to Vancouver. That's interesting. Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, we talked about that, right? Okay. Yeah. Ah, Wolfgang from Hamburg. Hi, how you doing? Thanks for joining. 50 millimeter 1.4. That's also pretty awesome. For Sigma Art lens. So for full frame. Okay, interesting. Yeah. It's really nice. Yeah. You know what? I find it interesting that when I have my normal Nikon with the smaller like sensor, I never liked 50 millimeters, but now I have a 85 millimeter for full frame, which is equivalent kind of to the 50 millimeters for the smaller sensor, and I really like it. It's very strange. I don't know why. And they have the same kind of aperture. They are both 1.4. I don't know. It's kind of just feels better. I don't know why. It's really strange. Yeah. Raul from Colombia. Hi. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. Jens says, yes, that's something I need as well. Okay. I'm not sure what you answered to, but okay. Marco, thanks. Okay. They're both photographing wildlife. Okay. Pretty cool. Yeah. Should we start with the color theory? We maybe, right? For everybody who is watching this late, let's start with the color theory a little bit. So let me 1 second. How do we start here? I have prepared some stuff here. 1 second. No, we have to close this. How do I see my boards? There we go. Okay, awesome. By the way, one other thing I want to show you is, let me open this up here. Okay, so this is something I'm working on right now. 1 second. Okay, I want to show this real quick. Let's pull this down here and then switch over to my live view. Boom, there we go. So like I told you in my Facebook group, I don't know, an hour ago or something, I decided like for this month, I will create a black and white, different art styles packs. There's a lot of different stuff in there. I'm still working on it, so this is why it will come late a little bit. And what it's doing basically is I still have to figure out if I make this in one file or in separate files. I just want to show you how that works. So basically you have a color photo, and then you have a basic black and white adjustment where you have to set these sliders based on your photo because that's different for every photo. So this is one that everybody needs to set. But then you have all these styles in here. When you look at that, I created these kind of things where, for example, you can add, wait a second, why is nothing happening right now? Okay, because it's turned off. Okay, so that's one of these styles here. So I created these different kind of, for example, here, these are gradient maps, you see? So you can turn it into a classic, what is this? 1920 sepia. And then we have a 1900 sepia, which has a little bit more of this kind of pink hue to it. We have a classic vintage basic sepia in there. Then there's another style. Do you see everything? I don't know. Zooms a little bit strange. This is something, it's called cyanotype, which is instead of black and white, it's blue and white. So you get something like this that looks a little bit strange. Wait a second. Something is not right here. 1 second. Apparently I changed something. I'm sorry. No? Why? Oh, I know, because the sepia is still on. I'm an idiot. Okay, there we go. So this is cyanotype, where you have, instead of black and white, you have this blue and white. So this is very bright one. This is one that mixes it with the sepia tone, and you also have one that has not a sepia tone, but instead of being blue, it has this kind of bluish background, you know. So yeah, I'm still working on all of this to get everything set up for you. This is more like a modern hard contrast black and white style. So there's a lot of different black and white art styles in there. I also created a noise that you can adjust to the luminance of the picture. Let's go back here to this. So you can see here that it's depending on where you have more or less brightness, which of course I'm doing with when you go here with these kind of underlying composition ranges, right? And with that, you can decide where you want to have more or less. So if I introduce here the vignette, like so, you can see that suddenly I have more noise in the darker areas and less noise in the bright areas. So that's also pretty interesting. And all these kind of different kind of knowledge things are in one file, basically, or in one pack. Maybe I'm doing multiple files, so the styles are separated and you have them preset and you can change them around. And this is, by the way, inspired a little bit by Nik Collection, by this kind of Silver Versa thing, but I'm taking it like I do more, I think, with the stuff that I'm doing, like this cyanotype thing. And also you can like switch around if it's in one file, you can just turn it on and off and save different versions. You don't have to go into the filter, out of the filter, into the filter, out of the filter. So this is a lot easier to do, basically. Yeah, okay, so I just wanted to show you that. All right. Am I talking too fast right now? Let's go to our color theory. Okay. Is stuck, but not the chat. What? Yeah. Can you not see me right now? Because I can see here a live video, so is it still? Now there is only one we are missing. Sure. Hi, Daniel from Berlin. How are you doing? I think it's working, right? It says live in 12 minutes since 17 minutes. Yeah, maybe refresh your browser window, right? Am I live? I should be live, right? We see. Okay, so that's good. Okay, maybe Jens. I don't know. He probably can't hear me. Jens, refresh your browser window. Okay, there we go. I can still see you on YouTube, so that's good. Okay, perfect. So let's go on. Okay, so I prepared several things and also a YouTube, a Google Doc, so I can tell you about, because there's a lot of different things to talk about with color theory. And I don't want to make it too boring. I just want to like show you different things. So first of all, like very classic. Oh, maybe not show this. Let's go here to Google. I hate it when this is like suggesting me a really long domain. Let's go like this. Okay, let's go with primary colors. I hope I find something because I closed the window by accident. There we go. This is good. This is a good one here. Let's have a look at that. Is that loading or not? Okay, sorry. Come on, load. There we go. Okay, pretty good. Open image in a new tab. Yes, please. All right. So, okay, there's a little bit cut off. Doesn't matter. Anyways. So if you hear like primary colors, secondary colors, tertiary colors, stuff like that, what it means is these are like you have these kind of 3 base colors and all the other colors are made from these base colors basically by mixing them. And usually it's these colors if you paint on something, right? So you have yellow, red, and blue. And then, of course, as you have learned in school, if you mix blue and yellow, you get green. So this is a secondary color, is green, right? And then a tertiary color is if you mix that green again with yellow, you get a yellowish green. So that's a tertiary color, you know, because that's the third level of mixing, basically, right? Okay, so this is for the wet colors, material colors, when you paint with colors on paper, on canvas, stuff like that. Of course, as you know, your screen has RGB. That is something different, right? RGB. And RGB, of course, means red, green, blue, right? So when we look at our colors in the computer, wait a second, I will switch really cool because I want to kind of, I don't want to reveal it too fast. 1 second, let's switch this over. I want to close this file. No. Oh, okay, this is set up perfectly. Okay, great. So I can switch over. Boom, there we have the colors. So these are the basic colors your monitor is made of, right? And these are the basic colors, how light works, basically, when you create colors with light. So we have these are the primary colors when we're talking about light, when you talk about your screen, and also when you talk about how your software works in your computer, because that's different, right? So you can see here, red and green and blue. Now, what do you think happens if I mix red and green together? What kind of color might that be? Because like it would be not a nice color if you look at it by mixing your wet colors like watercolor, stuff like that. Now, if I move this on top of each other, oh, we get a bright yellow, you see? So this is the secondary color is yellow here. And then if I move this over here, I get a lighter blue. Right? That's interesting. And if I move these two together, I get a pink. That's interesting, right? And now if I move all of those together, I get white right there in the middle, as you can see. So that's interesting. And if you open up your color wheel, you see the same thing. These are the primary colors here, as you can see, red, green, blue. And then if you mix them together, green and blue gives a light blue. Green and red gives yellow, and red and blue gives pink. That's interesting, right? And so this is different from how wet, like watercolors, oil colors, all these kind of material colors work. And this is how light mixes, and this is also how it works in your Affinity Photo program, right? By the way, if you want to do this yourself, what you have to do is you create these rectangles, and then you set one to normal and the other two you set to screen, so they mix with each other, because otherwise they're not going to mix. If I set them to normal, they're just like overlaying, so that's not going to work. Set them to screen, and boom, you get that kind of effect. Okay. Let's look at the chat real quick. I have to do that more. All is fine with the live stream, okay? Light to party, but I'm here now. Yeah, you came at the right time. We're starting right now with the main topic, color theory today for photographers, that is. Okay. Can you send me a link that will help me download the Pro Pack purchased? If you purchase a Pro Pack, you get an email with a recipe in there. No, receipt. How do you say in English? The bill. And there's also like a button to download the files in that email. If you didn't get that email, you can write me and I will check your purchase status and also send you a link, you know. Or resend the bill to your, also maybe check your spam folder. That might be a good idea. You can find me here. I have a website that I haven't updated in ages, which I should regularly do, but I haven't. So you can find me here and just email me through that if you have problems with that, right? Okay, cool. Okay, so let's go back to our color theory. Okay, so this was the like boring starting part, probably still interesting because it's so different from how we used to do it, how we learned it in school. It's a little bit different, right? So we have, of course, color harmonies. That's a very interesting part. So you can see here different colors. And now the color harmonies are, well, they use the same names, you know? So that's very helpful. And you can also find them on your Adobe Color page, which I know the evil Adobe corporation and stuff, but they have a really cool tool, which is actually free to use. So you can go here to color.adobe.com. Let's post this in here. There we go. So you can check this out. And they have these different kind of concepts in here. When you go here, you see analogous, monochromatic, triad, complementary, split complementary, double split complementary, square, compound shades. Okay, so let's talk about what that is and how you use that, not only with photo editing, but also with preparing your shoot or selecting what you're doing. Upload to Affinity Photo? What does that mean? The pack download worked perfect. Das ist eine Werbung über dem Color Wheel. What? Where? Oh. Werbung? I don't see any advertising. You mean this one? I can, let's place this somewhere else. Let's, here, there we go. Okay, no, that's not good. Where can I place this? Maybe over here, I don't know. Let's put it very small in the corner. Let's leave it up here, and it's very small. It's like an Easter egg like this. Okay, there we go. Good. Okay, so let's talk about colors here for a bit. Wait, where's my board again? I need my board. This is it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so monochromatic is the first color harmony, right? We're talking about different harmonies of colors. Wait a second, I have to, sorry. Difference, RGB, I've talked about that. Color psychology. Sorry, I wanted to talk about that first. Let's talk a little bit about color psychology first. Before we go into harmony. So maybe that makes a lot more sense after that. Sorry, a little bit all over the place. So you can just like Google that basically and find a lot of these different schemes here, these charts, and they sometimes give you different kind of values, and sometimes it's a little bit how to say, one-sided, but this one is not too bad because it shows you two sides of it. So as you can see here for blue, for example, we have tranquility, security, integrity, but also on the negative side, coolness, fear, masculinity, for example. And then for yellow, we have bright, sunny, energy, warm, happy, but also in irresponsible, unstable. Also, I would say warning, stuff like that, because you know warning signs often have yellow in them, radioactive or acid or fire, or they have often yellow or red in there, so it can be a warning sign. And depending on where you come from, for example, if you come from Germany, it's used for the post office, it's used for a learning company called Langenscheidt, so yellow can come off as a little bit boring sometimes because you identified with like learning a language and stuff like that, might not be the most exciting thing, or postal service also maybe not the most exciting thing. So depending on what kind of colors you use where you come from, they have different kind of meanings. Of course, in other countries they might have different meanings too, right? So it's really good to look these up and what they mean, how people identify with them. These are probably mostly for the Western kind of, how do I say, visual language. But they should mostly often work internationally because, of course, as you know, films and advertisement and stuff is spread internationally, so people get used to these kind of color themes around the world, even if they are in their culture use some colors differently. You know, so they are often also used to that. But of course, if you do artwork for a specific culture or a cultural background, you can still research their colors and how they understand the colors, or ask them, does this mean the same thing to you, right? Okay, let's have a look at the chat real quick. Upload ProPack to Affinity Photo that I have downloaded. I don't understand upload ProPack to Affinity Photo that I've downloaded. Oh, you mean to install that? I have included PDFs that explain how to install, for example, the brushes and the gradients, and I think also the styles, and how to use the LUTs. And also I've created tutorial videos or online course videos for most of the packs. Not the older packs though. I have started at a certain point to create these online courses. Yeah. But yeah, you can also ask in my Facebook group if you have specific questions, or send me an email about that if you have specific question how to use a pack. But check out the PDFs first if there's a video link in there, or if there's a text explanation with screenshots and stuff, because I explain it step by step how to use the brushes and gradients and stuff like that. For desktop, by the way. I don't have an iPad. Right. Okay. Okay, let's go back to the color theory. So you can see you have a lot of these kind of different concepts in here. Like, for example, you have here's purple, royalty, nobility, also often fantasy, this kind of thing. Like, you know, fantasy and sci-fi, they often use this kind of, especially if they mix together, they use this kind of blue and purple, or purple and pink light, violet and pink light, stuff like that. You also know it like, if you see a TV show and they want to be like they are in a laboratory, it should look like it's, oh, there is science going on. In the background, they make a blue or purple light, or they make a purple and pink light, and then they have this kind of, I don't know the English name, this little glass thing with some liquid in it, and it looks very scientific because of these colors, you know, because we identified with that. Yeah, so, and of course, red, passion, love, these kind of thing. Also anger, danger, as you can see here. Also, as you know, red, often like fire trucks, stuff like that. So there's a lot of things you can think about in sense of color theory. And if you look at pictures and how they use that, let's go here and search for example, red photo. You can find a lot of examples of that, you know, so that's pretty good. I always suggest to go to Pinterest, look at what people are doing, look how they are mixing that, how they are using that. And you can find a lot of interesting, nice examples of how color is used. Also, by the way, think about the color intensity. Is it an intense color, or is it more like a soft pastel color? You know, that makes a whole lot of a difference, because, of course, more intense colors, more aggressive, more loud, more intense. If you have pastel color, it's more relaxed. It can also mean it's more like cool, in the sense of a cool person, you know, like a relaxed person. So that can also be, or more stylish, that can also be the case. Let's have a look here. Pastel photography. I hope they don't show pastel. Ah, there we go. You can see it's a little bit stylish, right? It's not that in your face. It's more just a little bit more artsy, softer, more thoughtful maybe also. So think about these things when working on your pictures with the colors, but also when preparing what you want to photograph, or what kind of, I don't know, dress or paint on the wall or backdrop you want to use, stuff like that. What do the colors mean, and how intense should the colors be, right? So this can help you a lot to create better pictures. And the main reason basically why we are talking about this is because there is, like, thinking about colors, understanding colors right, makes a very big difference between a normal, average, not that interesting picture and a really good, interesting picture to look at. And it can be the same picture basically, depending on how you edit it afterwards and what kind of colors you put into it, or how you decide on the colors while you create that, by deciding on what kind of things do you want to put in there, or like if you photograph a person, what background is behind that person, what colors are, what kind of dress is that person wearing, or trouser or whatever. You know what I mean? So we can go on Unsplash real quick. I hope this isn't too confusing and I'm not going too fast. Let me know if I'm going too fast. So here's, for example, a good example, like just the first picture. You can see these are not normal colors, right? These are not everyday colors as you would see that in Sydney with the Opera House. They edited it in a specific way, and because of that, it stands out a lot more. It grabs your attention. It also gives you a certain kind of feeling towards that kind of image. So this can have a huge impact. Of course, you don't need to use artificial colors. It's nice. I would say artificial colors or your own colors can be a good trick if it's too hard to get the original colors tuned right or to look great. Just use other colors, and then because it's arty, it's artful, nobody knows if, you know, like you can play, you have a little bit more leeway because these are fantasy colors basically. So that's very helpful. Speed is fine. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's very good. Let's look at some other stuff here if we find something else. You will find here a lot of photos where the colors just have been adjusted or decided in a good way. So you can see here, for example, with this, where you just place things on a table to photograph, and you think about the colors first that you want to use in there. If they complement each other or not, if they help each other or not, you can have a really good setup, and it looks a lot more nicer, you know. So as you can see here, everything in this picture is either white or cream colored, so the colors are very close to each other. And then you have this little contrast in there, which are these red, I don't know what this is. It like these kind of, I think we call them Vogelbeeren, bird berries. In German, I think. I'm not sure if those are them, but it's a little bit of a contrasting color. So everything matches, and then a little bit of contrast makes the picture more interesting to look at, right? Which is a lot better than just photographing it. And let's see if we have other picture that is not such a good combination here. I don't know. Let's see, like this one here. You see? From the composition, from the colors, from everything in here, it's just like, nah, it's just a normal photo. It's nothing special about it. It's nothing to write home about. You wouldn't say, oh, hey, I need to send that to a friend, you know? So that's not that great from the composition and the colors in the picture. While, as you can see with this other picture we've seen before, you have a nice balancing in there, you know? It's more consistent. It looks better, looks more professional, and it's just nicer to look at, right? And it's kind of an experience to look at that, while this is just like, okay, you took a photo of your food, so yeah, okay, not that interesting, right? Okay, so this is why different color harmonies are important by planning the shot and editing the shot afterwards. Okay, so let's look at color harmonies now. So with the color psychology or emotions of color, I would suggest just Google that, because there's a lot of that stuff. It would be kind of boring if I just read through all of that. This one is a good one. You can find on Pinterest. And yeah, you can find it for basically every kind of color out there, what it does. As a color, also you can find like different brands that use that, so that might be interesting. Okay, let's go to color harmony next. And this is, I think, probably the most interesting part here. Maybe just for me, I don't know. Let me know how you feel about that. So here you see different concepts of harmony down here. And monochromatic is one where you use either just one color or you use similar colors of the same kind of area. So all kind of red tones, that could be monochromatic, or you use just one red but in different shades, so different brightnesses basically. That is also monochromatic, right? So if we look at this, let's go here and monochromatic, not outfit but photography. We should find some good examples here. Yeah, you can see, so everything here, like everything is red, everything is yellow. Let's open up these two, for example. I mean, there's a good one too. There we go. So that's a great example here, where it's like things haven't been artificially colored green. It's a normal photo, but the colors have been selected before that. Can we open just the image? Yes. And it's kind of it's not that I say this is the best photo ever, but as you can see, it's a nice, thoughtful combination. It looks artful, and you have kind of a different experience looking at it, you know? So this can be very interesting to combine these things in a certain way to all have one color. And this is another example here, more stylish than the last one, but you don't have to be that kind of intense with it. We can also... wait a second, where was this other one? Oh, wait a second, I put it in my board. So if you look at this photo, for example, this is also monochromatic. And it's just like, it's not like there's super much preparation. It's like the dress is red, and the dress is just filling all of the picture. So everything in the picture is red. And then this is nice because she is like, it highlights her. She also has kind of, the skin is red and orange and all these kind of tones in there too. But she's different from that. So she's highlighted by that and surrounded by the dress around her. And you can see how much of an impression that makes, how amazing that looks, you know. So this is also kind of an example. Also good that she has red lips in this case, like from the makeup. Yeah, this is basically how monochromatic photography works. And you can look for a lot of examples. Again, Pinterest, just enter that monochromatic photography, scroll through it, and you can see here from the different colors also how they, what kind of impression they give you. Of course, green, always kind of nature thing, you know, and yeah. So there's a lot of interesting examples. Also kind of easy examples that you can follow, you know, like you can buy balloons all in one color and then find a matching top. That's not too hard. And all of a sudden you have a really cool photo shoot, right? So these can also be very simple ideas to do if you want to. So this is one kind of harmony, which uses just one color. And then let's go back to our board here, if I find it again. Here's another example. This is a bit more work in this case, just coloring the different stuff and then also coloring her in post. There we go. Okay. Hey, Andrej, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. So the next one is analogous, which means that the colors are next to each other. Let's open this up in a new window because this is not working. There we go. Let's zoom in here. Can I zoom even more? Yes, there we go. So as you can see here, this it doesn't mean it's just green colors. It just means that these colors are all next to each other. So if you have a photo where you have blue, violet, and purple in there, this is also next to each other. Neighboring colors is what it means if you just like want to say it in an easier term, maybe. So an example would be, let's go back to my board. Do I have an example? There we go. For example, you can use it in a very nice way where here, for example, you have, let's open this also up in a new car. You see, you have these red tones in here with the flowers and the lips. And then to give a little bit more to that, instead of making all the foliage green in here, natural color, they are more like this kind of violet and blue tones. So they are closer to the red, right? And this kind of, it gives a little bit of a contrast, and it gives a little bit more to the picture. At the same time, it's not too far away. It's not contrasting from the colors, you know? So you can use it in that way. As you can see here, if you look over here, we have the red, and then we have the violet, and then we have the blue. So they are neighboring colors. So that's very helpful to use that, right? Let's have, is there another example? This might be another example. I didn't prepare examples for everything, to be honest. We have to look up the other ones. So this is also one where instead of him being black from his suit, they made it so it's a little bit purple, it's a little bit bluish, and also has this kind of tones. They also, I think, mix it into the ground. It looks a little bit to me like they mix it into the ground also, that this is a little bit more like a dark purple instead of just a brown and the red, to bring these colors better together, to mix them better together, right? And not just have a normal photo of a dancing couple photographed from a top, you know? Because that, like, the very same photo, if you don't edit it, if you look at it right out of the camera, is probably very unimpressive, very not special, you know? And then through the editing of these different, like matching the colors together and also working with the how can I say, the contrast in the picture to make this like a really vibrant red and bright area here, and bringing down the background a little bit, the floor, because for all we know, these could be like much lighter wood boards in the background, you know, but they are the background. They are not that important. You want to have a little bit of texture in there, but not have it taking over the picture and not being more important than the couple dancing, right? So to push them back and change the color and make the colors match at the same time is a pretty good choice to bring everything together, right? So it can be really interesting to work with these kind of concepts. All right. I have too much stuff open here. Let's close some stuff. 1 second. What is this? Okay, we don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. Yeah, we can keep that. Okay. Let's go to the next one, which is complementary. So here's 2-1 is complementary and near complementary. So complementary simply means, as you can imagine, you have opposite colors from this color wheel, you know? So for example, purple and yellow, or blue and like light blue and orange, for example, or green and red, these kind of things on the opposite side of the color wheel, right? Those are complementary colors. And then if you have different tones on one side, as you can see here, is more like near complementary. So we can look at this, and this is very easy to look up. A little bit long to type. Complementary. Let's see. There we go. Easy cheesy, very nice. So you can see here just complementary colors. You have orange and blue here, lots of orange and blue. There you have green and red. So that is an easy one. Also very effective sometimes. Let's click on this one, for example. It doesn't always have to be that extreme. So these are like very intense complementary colors. You can also choose softer complementary colors. Let's see if we find any kind of example here where we have it a little bit softer. This maybe with the red and the green might be a good example. They're all very intense. I mean, this is also like more natural from the sky. The blue and the orange also complementing each other. So that can be very helpful. And or if you set something up like this. Of course, as you can see, complementary often also comes over as kind of aggressive, especially with these kind of loud, intense colors. So you see this in like these kind of funky, goofy advertisements. They often use this kind of color scheme with the complementary colors because it's very aggressive, very loud, and very attention grabbing. So yeah. Yeah, that's kind of a simple concept basically. And if you imagine this, let's take this picture here, for example. Let's just copy this image over to Affinity Photo real quick, and then tone this down a little bit. HSL, go like this. Okay, maybe not that strong. You can see if I go softer like this, it's still complementary. It's just softer. It's not that extreme, and it can look pretty cool. You can do some really cool patterns and some really cool edits with that. And yeah, without being too aggressive, without being too freaky or in your face, it can be a very nice look. You can do a lot with that. All right. Let's go on to the next one, maybe. Am I going too fast? Is that okay from the speed? We might also split complementary. Let's see if we find some better examples here. Split complementary photography. There we go. Is there, I mean, that's kind of a good example here. Oh, yeah, this is the one we saw before. I have actually pinned that also to my board. So that is actually an interesting example. We have a natural picture and you have a split complementary color scheme in there too from the Harmony. And what it means, as you can see here, is, there we go. You have one color, and then on the complementary side, you have two other colors for that, right? That are complementary to that, you know? So in this case, as you can see here from these arrows, we have blue, and then on the other side, we have yellow, or like a bright, like a yellowish orange and a reddish orange on the other side. So you have two different values on one side and the blue on the other side. And this, of course, is kind of a very good look, as you can see. And it's not as aggressive as when you have just complementary colors, which can hit pretty hard, as you have seen before. Yeah, also here with this kind of mixing of these colors also looks a little bit nicer, a little bit softer, you know. So that can also be a very nice way to use colors. And like I said, if you know about these kind of things and how to combine them to set the photo up or to edit it afterwards, makes it a lot easier. When you know beforehand, oh, I want to go for this, you know what kind of things you need to prepare from the props that you're using, or where you want to photograph, or how you edit it afterwards, how the things come together. So that can be very helpful. Or another thing also, if you don't do this kind of artificial setting up of the pictures, if you train your eyes for that, you can also see it out in the nature, right? Or in a city with like artificial lights, or like we said, with the sky and the sunset, stuff like that. You can have a better awareness for this kind of thing, and this helps you a lot with taking photographs, right? With understanding pictures, maybe changing the angle a little bit so you have a different kind of background behind the picture. Behind the subject you want to photograph, or object, stuff like that can be very helpful. All right. Okay. You're fine. Keep going. Okay, that's good. All right. These are all very artificial, kind of. Is this split complementary? I mean, it's orange, and then we have like a violet. So these are more analogous here. All the same. Green and orange. This is complementary in a certain way. Let's see. Let's have a look at that. So this is more like a softer complementary look, as you can see, more natural. We have some green colors, we have some orange colors, and we have some kind of yellow. It's still kind of greenish yellow, but still. You know, so you have these kind of colors. One is here, and then the other one is going over here. And yellow is basically, well, it's kind of next to each other still. All right. Desaturated. All right. Okay, let's go on. Where is our sheet for the... There we go. Colors. This is an interesting one. We have analogous complementary. Let's see if we can find a picture. Did I prepare a picture for that? Maybe that would be good. 1 second. Let's go to the board again. Yeah, I prepared one picture where it's kind of hard to see. So this is analogous complementary. This is maybe interesting for architecture photographers or such. Let's open this up in a new tab. So as you can see here, we have all these kind of blue and green colors over here. So we go for the blue and the light green over here. So they're very close. And then we have these orange tones over here, like so, like this, you know? And so they have this kind of, most of that is analogous because it's the same. It's the blue and the green coming together in that. Like here, a little bit kind of greenish. Also up here, like a little bit of blue. Brune. What is brune? Brown. Okay, brown. Oh God. Okay. Yeah, and then we have these little bit of like orange and yellow tones over here. So this is, I don't know if that's the best example. Let's have a look at, we find some more. Let's analogous complementary. Let's click on that. Is there a good example? Maybe this one. Yeah, kind of. I was looking for something else because let's have a look at this one and then scroll down. Maybe there's some other examples in here. A good example would be where the colors are similar and then you have just a little bit of the other color in something else. I'm not finding anything here. That helps it a little bit. Let's see if we find something. Maybe that's an example here. Yeah, let's look at that example. Do we also have the other examples still? No, it's on the top. Okay, let's look at these two examples here. That's probably better here. Let's open this up in a new one. Okay. Yeah, so this is kind of helpful here because you have these kind of blue and green tones, as you can see, and then you have the orange tone on the other side. You see, so maybe that's a better example for that. I mean, it's kind of the same as the last one, right? It's a good combination, green, blue, and orange, as you can see. So that works very well together. Is it my imagination, or is never more than 4 colors? Yeah, probably. Because if you work in a planned way with colors, you don't try to overdo it with colors. You try to like limit the colors and then concentrate on them and make them stand out more, you know, and have this kind of harmony, of course. Because if you have normal photos and there's just everything going on at the same time. Let's go, for example, let's go in Pixabay there. And then we go to, I don't know, let's go to portrait, like so. And then you go here to latest, you see like what people just upload on the page, like normal pictures, you know. And from these pictures, you can see that there is like not much control over the colors in there. It's just like normal pictures. I hope there's no nude stuff in here. Okay, sometimes happens. And it's like, it doesn't look interesting, you know. That's the problem with that it's just a photo, you know. For example, like this one, it's not a bad photo, but the colors and the thing, it's just like not that interesting to look at. So if you would edit that a lot more and look at the colors and how they match together and how you use them in a harmony, and like reduce the colors to certain values, then the picture is a lot more interesting to look at and more artful and makes more sense as a picture. Also in this case, the brightness and the focus on not the focus of the sharpness, but the focus of the colors and the brightness and the light where you want to look in the picture, because there's a lot of stuff going on in that picture that is very evenly lit and has like the same kind of attention in the picture, right? So it's not as interesting to look at. And if you look at this, for example, it has more control. You have a lot more knowledge about where to look in the picture, or with this one or such. It's not just a picture, and it's more, it gives you a better impression to understand what the artist wants you to see in that moment, right? So it's just more well defined. You can, like in that sense, you can compare photography a lot to cooking, right? I mean, everybody can make a dish, everybody can cook something, but if you have a good cook, they have a very good control over their ingredients and over their spices and stuff like that, and they mix it together in a way where it really feels special, and you can taste all the different things in there. At the same time, it's not overloaded by taste, you know, and the same thing goes basically for photography or visual arts, you know, and this is kind of what you learn over time with that. Ollie says, what program are you using to identify the colors in a photo? Basically, you can use this Adobe here, coloradobe.com. It's free. And it's better than what you have in Affinity Photo. Affinity Photo does it too, but it selects different kind of colors, and you don't have this ability to switch between these. We can look at that in a second. What's the difference is also, if you go here to extract theme, you see I have scanned this photo here, not scanned, but like uploaded it, and it's looking for colors. This looks a little bit strange right now because my browser window is too small for the picture. So this is actually picking from the photo, and you can then, I can't see it right now. I have to make this bigger, because you can switch between. There it is. You see, I can now switch to bright and muted and deep and dark, stuff like that. So it gives me different kind of color schemes, color, not harmonies, but, you know, feelings for the colors. It's also interesting. So this is kind of a thing. We can look at that in a second. Oh no, what is going on right now? Oh, there we go. Okay, we are back. What is considered oversaturated? This food example. Which food example? I mean, oversaturated is basically if you have colors that are like clipping. So it's just like too much. and yeah, the colors are clipping. You can check that in the developer persona, by the way. If you have 1 second, no, yeah, let's open a picture here real quick, download, and then we go back to the color theory. Let's choose this one. It's the same picture, and if you go here to the developer persona, which is this one, up here you have this one, show clipped tones. And this shows you if there's clipped tones. There's clipped tones in here. That's interesting. Okay. So we have some clipping tones in here. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, if you have really strong colors or not is kind of up to you. So like with these kind of very intense colors we have seen before, if you mean that is like up to your taste. But there's another thing that's probably interesting. Maybe you mean that. Is that often when beginners edit photos, they get the colors are just too intense for a normal photo, you know. Like if you know my like compositions, I like to use intense colors, but they still match the purpose of the picture. But if you just like overdo the colors, it kind of it looks like it's, how can I say, it's too much. And it's more like an experience thing. I'm not sure if you can like say that in a certain way, when it's too much, when it's not too much. So I would suggest it's always a good idea to compare it to other colors out there, like for example to go to Pinterest and to look for similar pictures of what you want to take, and then see, are your colors similar to that or are they very different from that, and did you overdo it or not with the colors that you mix in there, and that you use for your edit. I don't know how to better explain that right now. Can we maybe find some here that's like it's kind of hard to find an example right now. Maybe here the colors are a bit strange in this picture. But I see most of these pictures that are uploaded, they are not really edited for the color. They're like, yeah, it's just a normal picture, right? It's not like that interesting, you know. And that's a big thing of photography, is to just get these things right and to have a good concept of that, either if you do it artificially or if you have a good eye for the color situation and then just take the right pictures, of course edit it a little bit afterwards, but if you have a good eye for these harmonies, sorry, let's go back here, that's also very helpful, basically, right? Was there something I wanted to show? No, anyways. Okay. Let's go talk about proper saturation. Okay. What is considered? Yeah, that's, I think did I kind of answer that? I hope I answered that. Yeah, there's also like double complementary. Is there something more? Let's see. Complementary, split complementary, we have already talked about that right now. Analogous complementary, we've talked about that. And then we have also, yeah, we have double complementary, which basically is like split complementary, but you have two colors on both sides. Let's see, I'm not sure if we find some pictures here. Double. Oh, and there is also, oh, maybe, wait a second. I think this might be the same thing. 1 second. No, it's not. So these, in this case, with this example, the colors are closer to each other. And then you can also have one here. If you look at that, here it is called, yeah, square. So that's different. Double split complementary. We can't really see the colors right now because I moved them around, so that's not a good idea. So you can see it here on the thing. And then if you have square, basically means like this. So this makes more sense if they are like that. Let's make all of them a little bit brighter so you can see the colors down there. There we go. So they are basically really in a square. And if I move this around, they move in a square to each other. And Where did I search these other colors? Let's close a lot of that stuff here. It's just becoming too much right now. There we go. Yeah, that might be a more like relaxed. It's not a great photo to look at, but like double complementary. Is it double complementary? Kind of. It's more than just complementary up there. I'm not sure if we find some good. Wait a second. Photography. Sometimes it's hard to find good examples for that. So here is like an example from the color chart. This one could be one. I mean, then there's a lot of stuff going on in that picture. Of course, because they're very mixed, the colors. Also with the parrot, I think. I don't really find a good example right now. Let's see. Square harmony. Okay, that's something different. Oh, that's nice. So here, by the way, this is maybe a good example to look at that. Sorry, it's kind of different thing right now, but if you look at this, no, wait, where is it? There we go. So this is analogous. You can see they're next to each other. Let's open this up separately. Open this up. Oh, I open up the same twice. Oh, there we go. Okay, so here you can see a good comparison. So this is analogous, everything the same kind of, not the same color, but similar colors that are next to each other in that image. And here you have this kind of split complementary, right? You have the blue in the middle, and then you have orange tones and red tones and these kind of tones over here, right? So this is an interesting way to see also how this affects the picture. And you can see when it's analogous, everything like fits together in a nice way. There's a huge harmony between it, but at the same time, everything also comes together very close from the values. And they can work very well. But it can also be like too much sometimes. And then if you introduce this kind of complementary tone on the other side, that can split it up and open it up and give you some like visual space to breathe, basically, if you know what I mean. So that can be very helpful. What is the next? The question is, the color wheel you're using does not seem to be the digital color wheel. Right. Is it not? It's not, right? I think we can change that over here. We can, I'm pretty sure we can change that. 1 second. There. No, it's RGB. Let's have a look here. Cancel. Open this up. Let's come over here, put this back here. Where did it go? Oh. No, it's the same. It's just turned upside down, you see? So you have blue, dark blue, light blue, green, yellow. Dark blue, light blue, green, yellow. Orange, red, pink. Orange, red, pink. It's just upside down here. That's why it looks so different. It's the same thing, and in the middle you have white. Because in the middle of the normal one, of course, you have black. If you mix all of the water or oil colors together, you don't really get black because nature isn't that perfect. In this sense, you get kind of a very dark brown. But on a display, of course, you get white. So it's white in the middle in that case. So that's okay. That's RGB. So that works. There we go. And they also, if we go over here, we switch over to SMIC. Oh, it doesn't do anything. Oh, I thought this would change this too. Okay, maybe not. Interesting. Well, doesn't make sense because this is for digital colors. So that wouldn't be making much sense to have one for oil paint colors if you use it with digital software, right? Okay. The color wheel you're using does not... Okay. Can you look at this and talk about welche Farbe hat dieser Schuh? Oh. I know what you mean, but I don't know what to talk about there. It's kind of an optical illusion, right? I'm not sure if that's kind of useful in that context, right? Or you mean this with the black and white? If the shoe is black and white, I've seen that. I have no idea what that's about, because for me the shoe is black. I don't know how you could see it any other color. Anyways, okay. What were we talking about? I think we almost like yeah, okay, the square colors, which is kind of if you have a parrot or something very yeah, there's also this. We have to look that up in another way. Oh, 1 second. Okay, so there's also this. No, wait a second. That's just his website. Damn, I was tricked. Can we find some good examples of that? Wait a second. Sorry. Let me search here. Okay, I should have prepared maybe more pictures. One second. You can write some questions maybe in the meantime. Just have to look this up to see. This is a bit more complex to search for. Did we find something here? No, of course not. Is there not even a Wikipedia article for that? Come on. Okay, so maybe this is a good explanation. I'm not sure. But you can see here diet. So you have two colors separated by two colors. It's kind of a strange explanation because there's like thousands of colors in between. But if you have these kind of tertiary colors, this kind of circle, then it makes sense. So they are neighboring, but there's still something in between. So they are still two different colors, right? As though they are in a certain way also complementary. And like this, like orange and yellow, for example. Sorry, orange and green. Yeah, like that. Or if you would move that over, can we? Wait, let's go here to custom. Or does this provide any kind of? No, that doesn't. That doesn't do it. No. Square, compound. It's compound, maybe? Compound the same thing? I'm kind of confused right now. Because they use sometimes a little bit different names over here. Interesting. Anyways. So two colors that are separated from each other, like orange and green, or orange and red over here, stuff like that. That could work well. Yeah, and I as you know, I always like to have this kind of pink and violet, or pink and blue kind of combination, so they can work well together. By the way, while we're talking about this, I think I have talked about this last time too. Let me look this up real quick. So there is a video you should watch. I think I told you about that last time. You can have a look at this video here. That's really good. Why films are shot in two colors. That's really interesting to look at. What kind of colors they use, why they use it, why it's reduced to two colors. I think he has another one, this one here. No, this is by the same guy. Why great movies use three colors, so different topic. These two, to watch them is really helpful. They are about movies, but because movies create a scene and create emotions for that scene, is also very helpful for photography. And these explain really well this concept of using only two colors for a scene, or using three colors for a scene, depending on what you want to do with that. And that can also be helpful, very helpful for photography to, how can I say, either artificially create scenes, or develop an eye to look at natural scenes out there, basically. Okay, what's the time? 1 hour 17. We can wait a second. I will put these links into the. I will put the links into my chat real quick, if I find the chat. There we go. So this is one of them. And then also check out the other one, because they are very helpful. Very nice concept. It's always good to get kind of new concepts into your head, kind of new ways to look at things, think about things. It's very, very helpful. I sent a link. Maybe you can find something. About what? You sent? Who sent a link? You sent it on Facebook, maybe? I don't know. By the way, don't send me Facebook messages while I'm streaming, because that's kind of, it pops the message up. So it's not a good idea. All right. What we were talking about. Okay. We can look at some pictures on Unsplash, some examples. So that's good to have some practical examples here. Let's maybe close that other stuff down. We don't need that anymore. And you also can ask some questions if you have them. I think I explained a lot. There's of course a lot more in color theory to talk about, but I don't want your heads to spin and make it super complicated and boring. So these are kind of rough concepts, basic concepts of what kind of harmonies are out there, the kind of psychology of colors, and the kind of also importance on why to think about colors, why to mix colors together, right? So we can look at some examples here. Of pictures, and you can see, if you look at most of these pictures, they have been edited to adjust the colors in a certain way to give them a certain expression, right? To give them a certain feeling, a certain style. It's not just the color and then just a little bit of contrast, a little bit of brightness and white balance. A lot of these, as you can see, they have these more, let's say, professional colors. You know what I mean? And that can be very helpful, of course, to create a certain scene. And you can also go very, more extreme, like this one, to make it look more artificial. That's also good style, you know. You can do a lot of different things with them. And you will find that in a lot of cases, maybe in most cases, applying or adjusting these colors to create a certain style, to create a certain artistic expression, makes the picture more than just the scene that you're looking at. And because of that, gives the viewer more of a reason to look at the photograph, right? I can see also in this picture, for example, could be a good example. It's like, for example, let's copy this picture over into Affinity Photo real quick. And let's see what happens if we do a white balance. So let's go here and then say white balance. What do we get? Where's the picker? Am I? Oh, there. Let's go like this. Okay, maybe that's... Okay, that's getting more natural from the light. Probably like this. You see the difference? It's still an interesting photo, but at this moment it's just a photo, right? And this looks a lot more like purposeful, artistic, meaningful, where you think, like you look at this picture, think, okay, somebody put some thought into that and some artistic ideas and wanted to show me something. While this is like, it's just a picture, right? So it's not as interesting maybe to look at that. So this is what I mean by that, you know? Of course, this is still not kind of the natural colors in here. You would have to do more adjustment, but it looks a little bit more like the original natural colors, if you know what I mean. So yeah, and that's kind of important. Also, as you can see here, this kind of brings, if you look at that area here from the trousers and the shirt and stuff like that, with this kind of, I don't know if he used an overlay or just adjusted the colors, but it brings these colors better together because now everything has a little bit of this blue tone. Even the skin has a little bit of the blue tone in there. And so because of that, all of these kind of different values fit better together. While here, if you have this, which is closer to the original colors, you can see that the trousers and the shirt is more like a dark violet when I look at it right now, and the trouser is like more this kind of a plasticky black. So they don't really fit that well together. They are different kind of shades of dark colors, not even both black colors of the fabric, right? And with this adjustment, fits better together, right? So this can also be helpful to address this afterwards. Like I said before, if it's like complicated to get the colors good with the real colors, try using fake colors, try using your own kind of color adjustments for that, and then see what you get from that, right? So that can be quite interesting. Here's another example. Maybe not use that, so my stream gets blocked or something. I don't know. They are dressed, but you never know. The algorithm from YouTube is very strange. We can look at this one. Let's have a copy this over again. Let's try to get kind of the original colors here. Let's see if I can color pick this. White balance, picker. Where's the picker? Down here. There's nothing happening right now. Why is there nothing happening? Okay, we have to do it by hand. Doesn't work. Am I doing something wrong right now? Okay, anyways. Let's go like this a little bit. By the way, if we do a second one, does this help more? Not really. I'm kind of surprised that the picker isn't like picking up the white here, you know? It's not making it white for some reason. I don't know what's going on. It's another of the special things that happens with Affinity Photo. But you can see here, like this is probably more closer to the natural light that's going on. Again, doesn't look that great, right? Doesn't look that interesting as a photo. And then if you have the adjustments they did, where's my mouse? My mouse is flying away. There it goes. Okay, look at this. Has all this kind of like more sepia tone over it. It brings everything better together and it just looks nicer. It looks like it has more purpose compared to this picture, which is just like, wow, not that great, not that interesting, right? So that makes a lot of sense to do these kind of things. And as you can see, you can do them in post to take a kind of average looking picture and make it more artful, make it more special. Or like I said, to just figure that out when you look at the scene, what kind of light do we have there? What kind of lights do you need there? Or colors. also. All right. You see, this one is just like normal photo. So it's kind of all over the place. You're like, yeah, but what is it? What are we looking at here, right? With this picture. So if you do some adjustments to that, you could probably make it more interesting as a picture. By the way, this can also be a style where you have like this hard flashlight and stuff. This was famous. I don't know, what was it, like 20 years ago or something? Photography still, I think, famous. It's more trashy. This can also be a style. Like my teacher back then said, aus der Not eine Tugend machen. I don't know how does this translate in English? Aus der Not eine Tugend machen. English. Oh, there we go. Make a virtue of necessity. Is that necessity? Doesn't necessity mean something else? Yeah, kind of. It's more like it's more like out of a like missing skill. You turn a missing skill that you don't have, you're just not that good at it, you turn it into a virtue and make it into a style. That is more what it means to make aus der Not eine Tugend machen, right? And this is kind of an example for that. So if you just don't have good light, just use the worst light and then make it purposeful, make it artistic looking, and then all of a sudden it's an artistic style and it has kind of an importance to it, right? Okay, we will go to the feedback for the challenge in a minute. Just let's look at some more pictures here. For example, this one is also nice as an example. You see, if you look at these colors, and this is kind of this classic orange teal or orange blue kind of thing, if you would have all these kind of natural colors in there, also could look nice. I'm not saying, hey, you have to use artificial colors, but a lot of stuff would be going on. You can edit it in a way where the natural colors also look nice in a natural way. But because of this, it reduces the picture more to this kind of artistic expression and to the different kind of structures and patterns that are there in nature and in this kind of scene, you know. So this pushes us more into an artistic direction in this case, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, okay. Should we, sorry, I have my chat is not here. Hey, JSB, thanks for the donation again. Thank you very much. Really awesome. Always very welcome. Yeah, you can't send links in the chat. I turned that off for spam reasons. Okay. Thank you, Tanashi. That's awesome that you find that helpful. Really cool. 90s fashion look. Oh, the hard flash. Yeah, 90s. Was it 90s? Yeah, it was 90s fashion look, right? What's the guy? I forget the name. I said it last time. I really like him. I have a book of him, but it doesn't say his name on the book cover. What's the name of the guy who made it really famous? Terry Richardson? Terry Richardson, yes. Yeah. I think he's kind of fallen from grace in the meantime. Some scandals around him and stuff like that. Anyways, okay. So lots of examples. Again, look up color harmony and color psychology online. So you can find a lot of concepts for that. And we wanted to look at the Adobe Color thing. Adobe Color. So this is really interesting just to show you that. So I will go in here, and you can also in Affinity Photo go over here to your colors like this, color tab, then go here, and no, it doesn't do that. What's going on right now? Oh, sorry, I have to go to swatches. I forgot about that. 1 second. I have to turn on swatches. Where's my swatches? There we go. Oh, I dragged that out when I moved the windows around before. Okay, so you go to your swatches tab and then you go here and say create palette from image like this. And then you can load an image. I actually made a YouTube video about that too. And so it picks colors, but the colors it picks is, first of all, you have no choice at all about the colors that it picks. And then you can set the number of colors, but that's not very helpful. You get more colors, of course, but it's just like picking it willy-nilly without any kind of concept that you can control. And then you can save it as an application palette, for example, right? Like, or a document palette if you want to. The difference is document is just for the document, and application will be there all the time. It's like saved into the software, and then if you open another document, it's still there for your choosing, right? Okay, let's go over to Adobe Color, do the same thing. So you have to go here to extract theme, and then you select a file and you put that in here, and you can see that this, first of all, shows you where it picks the colors, and you can adjust the colors. I can grab this and move this around, as you can see, if I want to. And what I can also do is I can set a mood to that. So you can go like, of course, in this case, maybe that's not the best example for that. Maybe let's download it at another picture so I can show you a better example. Let's use this picture here. Save. Let's save this down here and then extract a new one, replace up here, go down here, boom. So now we have this. So this is colorful now. You can see very colorful. Then you have bright, which makes it brighter. Maybe that's not the best choice of colors, to be honest, right now. Then you have muted, which is more like a pastel colors in this case, which is also nice. You have deeper colors. If you compare that to colorful, that's deeper. And then you have also darker colors. So this makes it a lot easier to pick colors. You have a lot more control over that. And then what you can also do is I can go now over here to the color wheel with what I've had. Let's go to colorful again, and then color wheel. And you can see I still have the same colors. And now I can also go with these here. You see, I can go analogous, monochromatic, triad, complementary, split complementary, all from the colors I picked before, from the picture I picked here. You see, I can go back here, I can go back there, and then start again. Double split complementary, boom. So it's creating it from these kind of from the colors that have been picked by the picture. Another thing you can do is to extract a gradient. This is also great. You can see here, this will create a gradient for you. Of course, this is a gradient that you will get in Photoshop or Lightroom, not in Affinity Photo, but you can copy these values here. You can see I can go here and say copy. So I copied it to the clipboard. And then when I go in here and let's create a gradient here real quick. So I go here and I click on this and I open this up. And now the way you use that is you go to RGB hex slider, because there you have this value down here. As you can see, I enter this without the hashtag at the beginning, and this is the value. And then you just do this 3 times, and you have then copied over that gradient that you've picked from that picture. So that can be a way. And also with the colors you extracted, same thing, you can just copy them here like this. You see down here, you click on that, copy to clipboard, and I go back to my software and I put this in here and I'm done. Does it even work? No, it doesn't work with the hashtag. 1 second. Or does it? Did it work with the hashtag? It works also with the hashtag. Okay, that's pretty cool. You see? So this is how you can copy this, the colors over if you want to. Another thing that's pretty cool here is that you can pick them from pictures, but you can also go to explore and you can also go to trends, which is very nice. So for example, you can see here what are color trends right now that are going on. So for example, for different fashion trends, spitting here. Okay. Graphic design trends for the colors, illustration trends for the colors, architecture trends, all these kind of things. And you can also click here on view more. And you can also see the original picture and then the colors like so. And the cool thing is you can see here, you can download that as a JPEG, which gives you the individual colors as a JPEG, and then you can just pick them inside of Affinity Photo. But you have to create a free account for that. Otherwise, you can't download it. But the account is free, so that's good. As you can see, I can just download that here. boom, like that. And then I go here and I place this file. There we go. And here I have my colors, even with the name of the color as an hex code down here. As you can see, hex code down here. Well, picture doesn't have the right resolution, but still, you can see if I make it bigger, you can see the hex code here. And you can just pick the colors now inside of Affinity Photo. Makes it a little bit easier. Don't have to jump back and forward. So that's very nice. So yeah, there's a lot of cool ways to use that, right? Okay. Let's go to Facebook now. Wait, let me set that up real quick and do the review. And I was really impressed this week. Really amazing what the people have created. 1 second. Where are we? No, that's not it. There we go. Is that it? Yes, that's it. Okay, cool. So I can put this here. We can close these other things. All right. Good. Where's my chat? There's the chat. Okay, cool. Positive criticism. We can do Instagram feedback next time. Maybe that would be a good challenge to post Instagram accounts, and then we can have a look at that and make that in the next live stream. I will write that down because that is actually a good idea. The only thing is I have to check the Instagram accounts every time before that, so we don't have any kind of nudity or stuff like that we don't want to have in the stream. Insta feedback back challenge. So that's the next one. All right, good. There we go. It's your favorite live stream. Woo, that's awesome. Okay, thank you very much, Marco. All right, so let's go here for the challenge this week. There has been an amazing number of entries also. Pretty awesome. There we go, from Gregory. So, and like, I'm so amazed that I did this tutorial on how to use digital backdrops, and then you created all these amazing works from that. So you can see here, these are the original pictures. Here we have the house, and you replace the sky. Did you do that with Luminar, or did you do that with Affinity Photo? And you also place this tractor in here. Which you get as a picture without the background, which is very nice. Saves a lot of work to have that. You can find that online. Also, sometimes as a PNG. PNG is a format where you can have transparency. JPEG is a format where you cannot have transparency. Maybe you even found that as a PNG picture, but you couldn't post it like that because on Facebook you only have JPEGs, right? Creating gradients was very helpful. Yeah, absolutely. It's very nice. It's very good to create gradients like that, or just pick. By the way, sorry, I have to interrupt real quick. What you can do in Affinity Photo is, if you have the color picker, you can move it to any window outside of Affinity Photo. So if you split your screen into two areas, like so, you see, like this, and now I can go here and I can pick colors over here. They don't have to be in Affinity Photo. You can see now I have this blue in here, or I take this kind of rusty brown down here. So now I have that. This is a way you can pick colors. And this is also, you can do that if you have two screens like I have. You can just pick the colors on the second screen, which is also nice. Like if I create my creative pack, stuff like that, I work with two screens. One where I like pick colors, for example, for my gradients, and the other one where I'm in Affinity Photo and working on the pack. Also with the black and white pack I'm creating right now, picking colors from pictures I search on Google, from classic black and white photos and cyanotype photos and other black and white styles. So I have the right color values from the different areas, decades is what I wanted to say. All right, so yeah, that's very easy and very good to have in Affinity Photo. All right. Can you make a new photo look like it was taken in the 1920s with color edits? Yeah, that's the part of the pack. that I'm creating for this month, right? Let me show you real quick. So I'm creating this. This is cyanotypy right now, where you have, instead of black and white, you have blue and white. And for example, I make all these kind of different gradients that are very specific to the different art styles. So wait a second. There's a glow on that. You can see, so here we have, wait a second. Let me get some control over this. Yeah. Yeah, this is the original picture. And then change it just black and white here with the normal adjustment. You have to adjust it yourself because it depends on the picture values that are in there. And then you have all these filters that I'm creating right now that you can apply to that. So for example, I did some adjustments here for the brightness and the curves to get a certain look in here. I will save it as different looks. Right now, this is just my work file. So for you, this will look a lot more professional and finished. And then to add a vignette to that. And then, for example, you have a 1900s sepia style, which has a little bit more of this kind of pink in it, basically. And 1920s, you have more this kind of style. And then you have a vintage basic look of the sepia, which is more like this style. So you can have different things. And also bringing in some noise here, as you can see, like this. And now if you combine it, we have combined it with the vignette. You can see like the noise is reacting to the darkness of the picture, like it's a luminance noise, you see? Like I have more noise here in the area where it's darker, also here in these areas, and less noise where it's brighter in these kind of areas, right? And yeah, you can just create different kind of styles. Or let's turn this off here, for example, and turn this off and turn this off. And then we turn this off, which is a modern hard vignette. So you can see like this, you have more kind of a modern photo style. So this is what I'm trying to create with that pack. A lot of different black and white styles that you can create just by turning on and off different kind of settings in here. And like I said, with this cyanotypy, you get also different styles. You can see like this, for example, is blue and white. And this is, by the way, this is a different way to process photos, and which gives you this kind of blue result. And here is with the background that is more sepia from a brown paper, basically. And this one is more where you still have a white paper, but you get this kind of blue, a little bit of taste of the blue. Also in the background and the white values, you see? So lots of different artistic black and white styles. All right, let's go back to the reviews of the pictures. Oh yeah, and there's a little link to my Black Friday bundle. Take advantage of that too. Okay. So yeah, really impressive, really amazing. I like also this kind of artistic look from the colors that are not natural colors, but they are more this kind of, it looks a little bit like you have a colorized black and white picture, which is a very cool look, very nice look to have for that. So that's pretty awesome. And I feel like everything fits together very well. You even created the shadows down here under the wheels, under this kind of, I have no idea what that's called. Shovel? No, not a shovel. I don't know what that's called in English. So yeah, very impressive, very nice. You even like edited some, I mean, did you edit some grass here? I think so, because the wheels here, they look different. You see here you have the full wheels basically, and here's a little bit of grass in front of that, covering up that area where the wheel touches the ground. So very nice attention to detail. I really like that. The only thing is that the shadows, when you look at the wheels, they point, I have the feeling they point a little bit in different directions. You see, like this shadow goes like this, you see, top left to down right. And this one goes a lot more, I mean, also top left to down right, but in a stronger way, I have the feeling. Goes more over there, while this is kind of under the wheel. If you look like how this ends here, how this ends here, and this one kind of, I feel like it goes over here like this. You see, it goes more into that direction. But other than that, it's really awesome. Very cool edit. Really like that. So I could be tricked to think, hey, the tractor was actually there and you only replaced the sky. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, let's go for the next one. From Nadine. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. Also very nice. So here we have just the horse on a like normal background with the forest behind that. And then here you have this kind of lake and some pink clouds behind that. I would say one thing that's missing here is, well, maybe actually there's two things missing here. The one thing is that here you don't have the pink light that you have in the sky on the horse. So the horse could use a little bit more ambient light. And the other thing is, like, here you have kind of an intense light. If you look at the shadow here that's falling from one ear to another, that's a strong light. And then in the original picture here, you can see that from the light situation, it's more like an overcast day. And this is kind of, I mean, you couldn't like remove the shadow up here. Maybe you could with the what is it called? Clone brush. Sorry, my brain didn't work for a moment. Maybe turn down the contrast a little bit on the horse so it looks like more of an overcast situation, and desaturate it a little bit to see if you can get that closer together, and then create this kind of ambient light, which basically means that you take the picture, like you duplicate that layer of the picture, and you go to arrange. No, sorry, you go to filter, blur, average, like this. And this creates an average of everything. And then just put it onto the picture with a soft light as a blend mode, and this will give you an ambient light. Maybe in this case you might want to select less of the ground because you've seen the tone became very brown. So maybe in this case select more of the sky before you do the average blur, so you have more of this kind of pinkish sky situation. But other than that, it's pretty cool. I really like it. You could maybe, did you do that maybe? Ah, yeah, you even blurred the background a bit more, as you can see here. Maybe blurred even more. And I'm not sure if this is the normal blur. Let's see if we see a difference here. So that could be interesting in that case. Let's go here. And then in Affinity Photo, you have the Gaussian blur. 1 second. You have Gaussian blur, which looks like that. And then also you have lens blur, which is here. Let's see if this does any difference. It's on the wrong layer. There we go. I will create a mask real quick. 1 second. Let's create a mask here and then a second one here. And then I will put one of those on the Gaussian blur and I will put one of them on the lens blur. Mask to below, there we go. And so let's see if we can see a difference here. Well, it's pretty similar in that case, right? Let's see, number of blades. I got a tiny difference here. Doesn't make too much difference, to be honest. Curvature, bloom factor. Oh, okay, that's just from the back there. We don't need that. I thought this maybe makes more of a difference to use the lens blur. Because the blur, it looks a little bit strange. I don't know why. It looks a tiny bit strange here in the background. Maybe it should be stronger. Anyways, but it's still pretty cool. I would mostly adjust the ambient light, and also let's try to reduce the contrast and desaturate the horse a little bit to see if that creates more of a like an overcast day look. All right, let's go on to the next one by David. Ooh, okay. We have to open this probably in a new layer. Sorry, a new, what's with my brain all of a sudden? New tab. Let's open this also up in a new tab. And then we have here the model or the bride. So she's sitting down here, very small in the picture, so I will open this up a little bit. Why did you make such a strong shadow right here? Because if you look at the background, and this shadow is like right from behind her. I mean, she has a strong shadow on her body here, and but the shadow is coming not from behind, it's coming from... it's not coming like this, it's coming like this, because you can see the light is on the arm and then falling onto the body. Otherwise, the shadow would go like not falling on the body. That's what I want to say here, right? So this shadow probably should go more into this direction, but then back at this building in the background, you don't have that. Oh, you put the strong shadow over here. But that's also strange, because this has a very strong shadow here, but this is open. There is no walls here. So this should also have strong shadows here, right? Because it's like light falling into everything. So every column should have this strong shadow if you have it back here. This looks like there's suddenly, like you change into another world over here, where it's kind of different light situation, you know? So that doesn't fit together that well. I would just have used the normal light situation you find here. Of course, like adjust the image a little bit so it looks better. And then from this image, maybe either use another image or try to, how can I say, make it look a little bit more like this is also in overcast. You know, maybe brighten up these areas here a little bit where the shadow is, and over here a little bit to make it look like it's in an overcast situation. Probably, you know, instead of putting all these shadows on the building, or if you want to put the shadows on the building, to paint them in everywhere, but it's a ton of work. So rather find two pictures that match better. What I really like here is how the colors match together from her and from the background. So that looks pretty good. And also here, like where this, I don't know how you call this in English, but this part here is on the ground. That looks pretty believable, pretty realistic. I mean, it hovers a little bit over the ground, but still, it's pretty cool. Very nice. Okay, I also like the transparency a little bit through the clothing here, so that's pretty cool that you managed to do that. Because transparent selections are pretty complicated to do. I also wanted to do a tutorial on that, by the way. Okay, next one is by Sabine, where we have the garden and the horse. Let's maybe open this up in new tabs. Okay, so you turned the horse around. There we have the garden. Oh, hey, wow. That looks pretty good. Again, problems with the shadow. Somehow shadow seems to be very complex. Maybe also do a tutorial about that. Let me write that down real quick. Okay, shadow. Shadow painting. That could be a tutorial. What was I talking about before? Like the other one? Oh yeah, transparent selection. Transparent selection. That could be interesting. All right. I really like how you put together the feel of the colors here. It looks a little bit artificial. It has a little bit of a... Like it's a picture for a story, you know, not a photograph that's happening, but if you tell a story and then you have this picture in the book next to the text to illustrate that, it looks more like that. But it's pretty cool. I really like how you combined that. Also, the direction of the shadows looks good on the horse and here on the plants. But then you painted in the shadow here. I don't know why. Around the horse head on both sides and behind the horse head somehow. Which, I mean, the shadow should be down here on the ground in that case, not on the plants behind there, because in that case, the light would be coming from the front and from a low point to be that long and go back that long. And the same thing around the chicken, which has just a dark area around it that goes up to here and down to here for some reason. Again, as you can see from the shadows here, just a little bit of shadow under the chicken, a little bit off to the right side in this case. As you can see here, it goes off to the right side a little bit. So that might be helpful. I mean, you don't have the same shadows on the horse and on the ground, of course, because again, different light situations. So this again seems to be an overcast situation here. As you can see, this doesn't have any shadows and this doesn't have any shadows, the gate. So this, yeah, try to look for that to have like combining overcast photos with overcast photos. And by the way, this is a trick. If you want to do these trick photos where you combine different elements together, try to take the photos on an overcast day, because then you don't have shadows and don't have to worry about editing shadows in or editing shadows out. That's a lot of work. If you do it on an overcast day and you do this kind of where you have like 2-3 times the same person in one photo, much easier with an overcast day because no shadows, right? You can see here we have shadows in this case. And also on the animal. So that gives it away basically in that case. But still, I like the result. Yeah. Thank you very much, Sabine. Let's go to the next one, which is, oh, there we have the chicken. I'm a huge fan of chickens. Sometime in my life, I want to have a chicken or multiple chickens basically. So it's not two alone. Chicken, sheep, and what's the one? Goat. I love goats. I love goats. The cute faces and the eyes and everything. It's just like so perfect. They're so cute from their faces. Oh, by the way, you need to. Oh, wait. I'm not showing what it is. I want you to go to Google Images and Google this word. This word. Maybe not right now, but later go to Google Images and Google this on Google Images. You will have a good time. I can promise you. You will have a perfect time just looking at pictures. I don't know how to pronounce it. I pronounce it Quokka, probably pronounced different, but happiness, like just an impact. No, what do you say? Direct dose of happiness. All right, there we go. Let's go to the next one. 1 second. Oh, there we have the original pictures here. There we go. So this is the original picture with the girl sitting on the ledge. Ledge, is it ledge? And there is the other picture. And so this is the combination. Looks pretty good. Let's see. Okay, again, the same thing. It's interesting. It's in almost every picture now. Overcast day, and well, no, it's not an overcast day. This is just the like the dirt in the smog in the air. This is not a fog or anything. So you can see here evening light on her jacket, on her hair, and then we have a little bit shadow down here. And here overcast, no kind of light and shadow, not below her, stuff like that. So to combine that makes it a little bit more complex. You can technically paint in the light and the shadow afterwards, but it's pretty hard to do. So better search for 2 pictures with the same kind of light situation. Also here, a little bit of the problem is that wait a second, let's reset that and open this up individually. The selection here around her is very soft. So that's a little bit of a problem because of that, and maybe she is even in the photo here, she's not out of focus. Maybe she is a little bit. That's interesting. You see here, she's a little bit blurry, a little bit out of focus here for some reason, but the other woman isn't over here. And because they sit next to each other, this gives a very, it's very apparent that one of them is a little bit out of focus, and then you have this soft selection around the edges of her body, which makes it even more blurry. And this gives kind of this not so great impression of if you have a very small version, it looks believable, this looks very nice, but then if you have a bigger version of that, you see all these differences, and it kind of stands out that this is like edited together, right? Yeah. So again, if you want to combine photos, look for a similar light situation and a similar sharpness situation. It's also important. And put on the ambient light and look at the light direction also. Where's the light coming from? So you can combine the photos in the right way. Okay. Good. Let's go to the next one. Oh. Okay. That's different. I don't think, does it fit the task? I mean, it's a montage, but it's not really using a digital background. It's more like a digital edit where you put the guy into the glass, which is nice. Although the guy looks for some reason, wait a second. No, he doesn't look transparent. The reflection is on the glass. It's not on him. And he wears a bra, so probably that's a woman. Okay, with short hair. It looks nice, but it's not the task of the day. I would probably, like, you have again the same problem as with the other pictures, is different light situation. You can see here the light is coming more from the top left here, if you look at the shadow here on the glass. But here on this picture, as you can see, the light is coming from below. This is why suddenly in this way, we can close this. Suddenly in this, where's the picture? Suddenly in this picture, she has a shadow on her legs, on the upper part of the legs, and there's no reason for that, right? My cat Lolo is here. 1 second. Lolo. Hallo Lolo. Hallo Lolo. Sag mal Hallo hier. Schatzi. Sag mal Hallo. Moment. Oh, there we go. Hallo Lolo. Einmal kurz in die Kamera schauen, Baby. Was willst du denn von mir, Schatzi? Schau mal kurz in die Kamera, schau hier. Schau mal in die Kamera, Schatzi, komm. Mit deinen großen Augen. Magst du nicht, Schatzi? Nein, heute nicht? Okay. Also gut. Darfst wieder runter. Komm, geh. Alright. Alright, sorry for that. My cat was jumping on the table. Okay, so in all the pictures, different light situation, you have to look for the right light situation. It's really important if you want to use a digital background that the light situation fits together. And of course, if you have studio lights, by the way, I skipped this picture, so we have to go back here. What was I saying? If you do this in a studio, that is very helpful, because then you can set up your studio lights to have the right direction, and then you combine it with the digital backdrop and you get like the perfect situation in there. So this is very helpful, and this is also perfect for the situations like right now with the lockdown or something. You can't travel, you can't have a big team, stuff like that, but you can, I think you can meet with the model, like 2 person can meet. And so you do it in front of a green screen, for example, and then have all the other stuff digitally in the background. Or for any kind of other situation, there's a lot of different reasons why you want to have a digital backdrop afterwards, right? Okay. So let's have a look at this picture here. Very nice in this case. So this is the picture in the yard. And this is the picture in the nature. And this is the combination of the pictures, sorry, which is pretty good. I really like it looks really realistic. I like also the editing, how you brought space into that. You flip the picture, and then this looks very flat, like a wall of colors and plants. And here, through the editing, you put more room, more space into that. So that's pretty nice. Did you also change the blur? No, you didn't. The blur is still here. Sorry, that the sharpness is still here, depth of field, and then we have the blur back here and the front here. And she stands in the area where there is basically sharpness there. The only thing that really stands out here that kind of gives it away is that for some reason her hands are in shadow. So you can see here the hands are dark, but the rest is bright. And also the scene is bright. So there's not really a reason why the hands are so dark. If this is a raw file, you can try to make the hands brighter. You can, in Affinity Photo is probably a little bit more work. You have to paint over that. Maybe make a curve adjustment and then make a mask to paint that in on the areas where you need that. Or with Dodge and Burn, you can also try if that works. If you have Nik Collection, it's a little bit easier because you can use Viveza and then just like put a selection area, which makes this kind of automatic luminance mask for you on the hands, and then brighten that up and set the colors and the warmth of that area. Probably if you brighten up a shadow area, you have to make it a little bit warmer, a little bit more saturated, because shadows are often less saturated and what was it saying? And a little bit cooler from how the sensor of the camera and also our eyes see it, right? So you can try both ways, but right now, right here, you can see that the hands, for some reason, for no reason in this combination, are darker. Of course, in the original situation, it makes sense. Or change location a little bit, go out on the road where you have an even lighting from all sides, so you have a better setup to combine it afterwards, right? Okay. We've talked about this picture already. Okay, there's the next one. Let's close these other pictures. By the way, something here. Hello, Lolo. You missed the picture from Marco. Okay, yeah, I have catched up to that. Let's have a look at this. So here we have two pictures, an underpass and the dancers here. I don't know how it came out that dark. Probably, I guess, because of the editing you did with the contrast to get more contrast in the picture and the saturation stuff, and this kind of adds up and makes this area a lot darker than afterwards. So that's, I would say, probably the reason why the hands look so dark in that case. That looks pretty good. I really like the shadow here. I mean, the shadow is kind of intense coming from the back. At the same time, it sets up the scene. So you kind of look more at the dancers and, how can I say, it gives a nice feeling to the scene. It's a bit strong shadow, so maybe try to make that shadow weaker here. And let's see. I mean, we kind of have the same situation here where you don't have any kind of lights coming from up here. So I was kind of thinking, because here this is bright in that area, so probably there is another light over here. But if you look at how the light goes outwards here and how this is back here and has also these kind of rays here on the side, there is just another light outside of our view area, like this in the middle. So it's not coming from the sides, as you can see in this picture. And where's the light coming from here anyways? Let me see. There's a lot of light sources here. So one is coming. There might be 3 or 4 different lights, because you can see one is coming from down here and it creates this shadow. One is coming from up here and creates this shadow. And then one is coming from over here in blue to create these highlights on the hair and also on his face to give a little bit more like separation and color in there. So that's pretty nice. So we have at least 3 lights, and then also we have these lights in the background. And are there even more lights? Because you can see down here you have a blue shadow and a red shadow for some reason. So there might be 2 other lights coming. Oh no, this is, yeah, no. Huh? I'm confused. The blue light is coming from over here, and the shadow is falling in this direction. So maybe there's another blue light. Anyways, I mean, there's a lot of lights happening here and not so many lights happening over here. Although, I mean, the colors fit together. You have this kind of blue and the violet in the picture itself, and then also on the dancers. So this fits together. Just where the light is coming from does not really fit together. But, I mean, if you go from the artistic point of view, you could still say, well, that's okay because it's an artwork and not everything has to add up in an artwork, right? So you could go like that, you know. But if you want to have it as a realistic digital backdrop, it wouldn't really fit together from the different light sources, right? But still, I like how it looks. Pretty cool. Very nice edit. So yeah, from an artistic point of view, I really enjoy how it turned out, basically, right? Okay, thank you very much. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, Star Wars. There we go. Okay, so what do we have here? Let's close this down. So we have a city. No idea what that city is. For a second, I thought I knew it, but I don't. Okay, anyways. And there we have a model of a Star Wars destroyer, I think. Okay, wait a second. Ooh. Okay, you can see there's a church tower back here. And the church tower goes directly into the StarCraft here. This kind of... yeah, and it looks like it's holding it up, so that's not good. I would have edited this out so it doesn't look like it's holding it up. It doesn't interfere with that and creates this kind of strange situation. Another thing problematic here, again, ambient light problem. And again, light situation problem as with the other pictures. So you can see the sun is somewhere back here, and this where you have this kind of brighter area. But then this sun is coming from top down onto the destroyer. Let's call it destroyer. You see? So again, a conflicting light situation in the picture. Yeah. In this case, maybe you could have tried, because this has an easier structure to paint in, to paint over that with like try different layers, you know, of pixel layers with the blend modes. Maybe, for example, soft light, so you dodge and burn this kind of side, make it darker. Then maybe put some like lighter light points in here, like artificial lights, for example, blue light or green light, whatever you want to put here. To have these kind of little windows in there, made the rest dark, and then have a highlight going along this side here, where this is lit from the right side. From the right side? Yes, from the right side. So it looks more like it's dark, and then it's kind of floating in the sky there, which not easy, but because this is more kind of this like easier structures, easier elements in here, it's probably easier to paint that in if compared to a body, because if you have a body like a face or something else, or this shape, it's really hard to define where the surface is if you want to paint that in afterwards, because it's a very uneven rounded shape where you have this kind of complex light situation on there. So this is kind of hard to find out. Where is it still bright? Where's the shadow beginning? How strong is the gradient going to be to create a shadow on this kind of curved surface? That is pretty hard and takes a lot of experience. At the same time, if you have something that's like a book, for example, like this, that is easier because it's flat surfaces. So on all of the surface, you have the same light situation here, and the like not same but similar light situation over all of the surface here and here, as you can see. So that is a lot easier to paint in afterwards, right? And to figure out where is shadow, where is no shadow, because there's no curvature, right? So that's easier. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Did I miss anything? No, right? I covered everything so far. Good. How many more do we have? Okay, not that many more. Okay, good. So, ooh. Oh, I thought for a second that the big shadow is from the dog. It looked like that. So here we have the original. This is from Jens. Let's close these pictures down over here and this too. So you have this picture with the dog and then the lion and then some forest and a zebra and a frame. Where is all of that? Ooh, you did a lot of work. Wow. Uh-huh. Okay. Pretty awesome that you put in so much work into the picture. I wouldn't have put a flat image on a round surface. So that's, I mean, you could have made the shadow in a way that looks like it's a bended surface. Again, pretty hard to do. So I would have not taken this into the picture, just have this picture back here. So that would have been enough as an addition. Still pretty cool. Then the lion, or sorry, the tiger itself looks pretty good. The ambient light is a little bit off, but the kind of light situation looks good because the light is coming here from the right side in both cases with the dog and the tiger. But the shadow is strange in that case. Again, bended surface like here to put a shadow on that, that's a bit complicated. But if you look at the shadow of the dog, as you can see here, we can actually zoom in there a little bit more. Wait a second. Let's go like this. So if you look at the shadow here, you have a good example. And you basically do the same thing then up here with the other subject, you know, with the tiger up here. So you can see here, you have a dark shadow here, darker, not super dark, but dark. And then it fades out the further it gets away from the subject. And it also gets blurry. You can see here, you have sharp shadow edges. And then the further it goes away, the blurrier it gets. You can see here, you kind of see an edge, but it's already pretty white. And here, it's kind of impossible to make out where the shadow begins and the coloration of the carpet ends, you know. This, but over here, you can see from the distance, of course, the dog is not as big, how far the shadow goes here. So in that area, you already can't really see it anymore. So for the tiger, you could have went with a lot like softer shadow, basically at the beginning sharper, then getting increasingly softer, right? And you could have tried, for example, to just make a copy of that layer and then put it on the side over here and then stretch it out with the perspective tool to make it look like maybe it's a shadow on the side. You know what I mean? Or just make a selection where you think that is going on, and then you can increasingly blur that. The way you increasingly blur something in Affinity Photo is, let me give you an example here. Let's close this down. And you know what? I will just create a white background here like so. And then let's create a second one like this. And I will make this black like so. Okay, so what you're doing is you use a live filter like this. What is happening right now? 1 second. Oh, okay. My cat was peeing, but he's a naughty boy. He sometimes pees on my furniture everywhere. If he doesn't feel like he's in a good mood, he'll just like, wow. And so every time I hear that sound, even if I sleep, I wake up and like, what's going on? Oh, cat is peeing. Is he peeing in the right direction? He's very naughty sometimes. If he doesn't feel good, he lets it out on the everywhere, whatever he finds. Especially things I like are the first target. Okay, so you create this kind of live filter. That's important. It's a live filter because then you can create a Gaussian, a gradient here, like so, and make this gradient to go from black to white. As you can see, like this, it goes in the wrong direction right now. But as you can see now, it's sharp over here, and then it goes increasingly more blurry. And of course, I can still set up my blurriness over here and like this. So this is how you can fade out something into blurriness over time. And we have to probably redraw the... and it has reset. This is something I don't like about Affinity Photo. It resets the gradient every time you draw it. And you can see, like from here to there, that's a pretty good trick. And you can also do that. I mean, it's not perfect, as you can see here. For some reason, maybe because it's a rectangle, not a pixel layer. Let me pull this up here. Doesn't work. 1 second. Let's rasterize this real quick. Does it work better now? Oh, now it doesn't work at all. That's great. Let's put it out. Put this in a group. Put this on top of that. Yeah, that's kind of better. What is going on right now? 1 second. Make this black, make this white. When you put it in a group, it doesn't work for some reason. Okay, but it works like this. A little bit. Not 100%. Today, not 100%. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why. It usually works 100%, but right now it looks like this. Yeah, sometimes it's kind of strange. I don't know why. Good. You can also do this with objects, by the way. That's also very nice. If you want to have an object going into the distance in your photo. Wait a second. Let's go with camera. Let's select this one here. Copy this over. 1 second. Let's see if this works better. And then let's rasterize this first and then remove the background. Hello. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay. Good. Okay. So I want to place this in space, like so. Let's place it like this, maybe. And then I put the blur over that. Gaussian blur, let's see. Yes. And then I put a gradient on that, like so. Okay, and that kind of looks like the object is moving away from the camera. Not moving away, but going into the bokeh area of the picture, if you know what I mean. Right now it looks a little bit stupid because there is no background, but if this would be like floating over a hand and there would be bokeh in the background too, this looks more like it's floating. I have actually created that on one of my live streams. If you go to my Instagram, 1 second. Let's go here. There. This is what I created. You see? You have the camera. It's blurry in the front, where like it's in the out of focus area, and then it goes into the focus area, and then we have this kind of astronaut behind there. So it looks like the camera is floating in space, So that's a little bit of this kind of effect. All right. Whew, that was a long explanation for how to put the shadow there, right? Okay. Good. You can also like just use the blur brush or stuff like that. You can try different ways on how to create that and how to put that on there. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Should go on the round wall. Yeah, I wouldn't put it on the round wall, right? Or maybe just like put it on there a little bit, just fake it a little bit on there, make it already very blurry over here and very faded, so just a little bit. You could also put the tiger maybe a little bit more to the right over here, so you have a bigger distance to the wall, and you don't have to deal with that, right? So maybe that can work also. Because, like I said, round surface is pretty hard. You can, with experience, learn that, but doing it just like that is pretty hard to do in a believable way. Especially if it is a architectural, like a human-created, very even roundness. You know, if it's a stone, you can fake it because nobody knows where the surface of the stone is, where the roundness of the stone is. It's very uneven. But with this, it's very even, and then the eye from the experience kind of can tell if it's right or not. All right, let's go to the next one from Ingo. There we go. Wow, a nice one. Okay, pretty cool. So here we have these two pictures. Let's close this other stuff here. By the way, let's also close this. Not saving this, not saving this. Just so people don't think I'm like just taking pictures from Google. Don't just take pictures from Google. Take pictures from Unsplash. So here we have an overcast situation. As you can see, no shadow. That's pretty cool. And here we have also an overcast or foggy situations. A little bit of shadow, but not too much. And very kind of blended shadow. So it's also very nice. And you also brightened up the shadow here, which is also good. And brought the colors together. Very nice. It's not just the natural colors, as you can see. Let's reset this. So you see, normal forest with normal colors, everything like green and yellow and everything in there. And here also just normal colors. And then all the colors like blended together so they fit better, mix better. So that's pretty cool. Very nice job. Very good. I feel like the deer could have a little bit more, I don't know, ambient light on there. It's a tiny bit different, you know. So what I do in that kind of situation is, if that is in a group or just like put it on the layer, where that element is. Like, for example, let's say this is the deer. You take a color balance adjustment and put it onto that layer. You can see like this. So it's on here like this. And then you can move this around and you can tweak the colors of just that element. You can see here even the red is changing a little bit. It's a stupid example because it's just one color, so it's not going to change too much in that case. But with this, you can balance it kind of softly in that area here to make it fit to the other parts of the picture a little bit better. So that's a pretty good way to do that with this color balance adjustment just on that element here to merge it together a little bit better, right? Okay, but the rest is pretty awesome. Really like the editing of the forest also and how you brighten that up a little bit. So yeah, that looks pretty cool. Also how you we are hiding the feet a little bit. This is also kind of a good trick to do, that where, like you can see with this picture, he's standing on not solid ground, but like the ground where you see the hoofs because it's a harder ground than the leaves. He's standing here just to cut out some leaves and then put the legs behind there. So to like hide that fact a little bit and make it look more realistic that he's standing in between the leaves like that. Or if you have a hard surface and there's a problem with the ground or with the feet, or maybe there is something in front of the feet that you just can't fix or cover up, you can try to put a little bit of stuff in front of there if you have the opportunity for that, you know. To have something here like a little bit of grass on the ground or something else to cover up this kind of problematic situation. All right. So let's go on. Pretty cool. Very nice job. Really like that. Thank you, Ingo. Okay. Eileen. Wow. I couldn't even tell what was put in here. Butterfly, maybe? Yes. Okay. Oh, and some water drops. Okay, the water drops didn't work, but this is super hard. So that's very difficult to do. This is, I think, for me personally, is one of the most difficult things is to apply a water drop to a different surface from that kind of picture because of how light falls through a water drop. It's not just transparent, it also bends the light through the water drop onto the surface. So that's very difficult to do. And as you can see here, it doesn't work by just blending it onto it. You see, it just, they look like they're just like flat in that moment because the bending of the light is missing. That makes it three-dimensional in that situation. I think you tried it a little bit here, maybe on this bigger drop, but these over here, they just look very flat. So that didn't work. It's very hard to do. I couldn't do it myself. But this one with the butterfly on the blossom, that worked really well. Like how they are combined, and you made the colors popping a lot more, which I think also helps with the combination of these two elements to make it more believable that the butterfly is here. And the colors of both of the pictures look very nice, also from the ambience of the ambience light on the wings of the butterfly, and on the rest of the picture looks very nice. So pretty cool, very nice edit. Really nice. Also, the sharpness fits together. I would even say the light situation fits together, right? The light is falling over here from the shadow, I would say. And in this case, it's also the light coming, you see, from over here, going over here. So that's pretty nice. Very cool. Really like that edit. That worked really great. Thank you, Eileen. All right, let's go to the next one. We have only 2 more to go. This is by Peter. Ooh. Wow. What is going on here? I can close this and this. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Ah, I already know this picture. You have used it maybe last time or the time before that. And then you have this Ellie here with the leaves, and then you put that into the water. That looks really good. That is really surprisingly good. Because it actually looks like they are floating on water. It's a little bit strange. It's suddenly ending here. But that looks really like it's floating on water. Also with this kind of reflection here. So that pretty much sells it really good. That you have this reflection where the water is clean. And then it goes a little bit under the water. So some of them are sinking below the surface. Sinking into it. Really nice. Very good work. Interesting. Huh. It's pretty cool. Very good work. And also you have the bird here with a reflection. Pretty good. Which looks realistic. And some money here. Pretty awesome. The shark is maybe a little bit too much. It's funny, but... Oh no, it's not a shark. Sorry. You didn't put a shark in there. I thought it's a shark fin. I thought you put a shark fin and then the goose. Is it a goose? No, it's a swan. The swan. But you did put the swan, not the shark. Really nice. Lots of details. You put a lot of work into that. Very nice. Really like that. Okay. Wow. I'm really impressed by how well all these elements fit together. I don't have any kind of extra feedback because the kind of the ambient light looks nice and the effects look nice. And yeah, even the blurriness of the money and the ambient light on the money, that it looks like it's a little bit below the surface, is pretty cool. Very good editing. Oh, there's another bird over here. Okay, wow. You put a lot of stuff in here. Huh, nice. Okay, pretty cool. Lots of work. I don't know what extra feedback to give to that. It looks really nice, everything of that. Also, the perspective is matching up really good from the water surface, and the street that is going back here is like a really good match, both of them. Pretty awesome. Very nice. Okay. And here we have the last one by Niels. Oh, wow. Okay. Strong guy. Let's open this up with the original pictures. Let's close these two. So this is the original with the bodybuilder just like holding the arms out. And then we have this little stone arch here. And you combine that together. Really nice. Huh. Let's see. Where's the... Ah, okay. Same situation as with the other pictures. Overcast day, strong light on the bodybuilder. This is like almost every picture has this conflict of like matching up pictures with the same light situation. It's really important to look for that. And because of that, you see that they look kind of... It looks really good, especially if the picture is small on Facebook, as we've seen before. How do we close this right now? In this case, that looks almost believable, but if you open it up, you see that there's a very soft light with not really much shadow on the stones here, and then these very strong shadows on the guy. Now, in this case, because you have this kind of undefined surface of the stones, it's probably a little bit easier to paint that in from the light and the shadows. Again, try with dodge and burn, or try to use curves and then paint it in with a mask. That could be possibilities how to get the shadow in there. And with stones is a little bit easier because you don't really know, you don't have the viewer doesn't have an experience where the surface actually is going along, so you can paint it in and make it kind of look believable. Give it a try. That's actually good exercise to learn more about how to paint light and shadow into a picture. I think you painted in some light, but you put some highlights over here. Oh, wait a second. Is there two light sources, or are these just like put into the picture afterwards? Wait a second. So there's shadow coming from here. So yeah, there's actually a light source here and a light source here. Because here you have shadow that's going to the left and here shadow is going to the right. Aha, so there's actually two light sources here, and this is why you put some highlights on this and some highlights on this. I would probably make the highlights here a little bit thinner on the edges and not so strong, especially not on this one. Looks a little bit too much. And then for some reason, these don't have a highlight anymore on the sides. And you put some strong highlights on these, but then not really a strong shadow on the opposite side. Like there's a strong shadow down here, which is very, I mean, it's very strong on the lower part of the stone, but at the same time very flat on the surface of the bodybuilder. Like it's lying on flat ground, not on this kind of bulgy muscles, right? So that doesn't fit together very well. And the other stones miss any of that painted in shadow. So try to paint that in here. And if you have a difficulty to, let's copy this over to Affinity Photo real quick. If you have a difficulty to paint that in, what you can do is you can make several layers. You don't have to work with just one layer. You go like this, and you can create a layer for each stone if you want to, and then just start to paint in some stuff. Let's make this a little bit smaller here. Let's reduce the opacity. And you can see you can like, let's reduce this even a bit more and make this softer. As if you paint in here a little bit on that side to give a little bit of shadow over here. And then you also have stuff over here. You can just use your eraser and just reduce that again, because you have the layer just for that stone, you know? So that's very helpful. And just like take this away again. So you just have shadow down there, like this, you see? And then you can go again, you can say, okay, and now I make a second layer and I paint in shadows over here. So you can go the same way. You can just like paint in a little bit of shadow over here and maybe down here, and then turn the other one off. Use your eraser again and make this like remove the shadow here again, so it's just on the lower part of the stone. And you can turn on the rest again. Sorry, like this. You see? And there's a little bit of stuff going on here. And so you can paint this in bit by bit, the shadow under the stone. And you can see now I have some stuff here. So I can go here again. And then just erase that out from here. So I don't have that here. Whoops, that was a little bit too much. Like so. And so this can make it very easy for you to paint in stuff bit by bit. Go back, turn the layers on and off, see what works, what doesn't work. And you can see like now I have 2 layers for just that one stone. And I can go for the rest of the stones the same way and edit it in bit by bit to see what kind of result I'm getting and if I'm happy with that or not, you see. So that can make it very easy. And you can also like structure this better. You can see like here, for example, you can say, okay, this should be a little bit lighter up here. So I reduce my opacity over here and I reduce my hardness over here. This is for the eraser still, right? Let's make this a little bit bigger, like so. And then I say, okay, I take a little bit of the shadow away from this area again. So basically I shape my stone structure here. You can see now it's just on the sides and just down there, 2 different shadows. And I can say, okay, this shadow, well, I feel it's like too strong, so I reduce the opacity. So I make this shadow a little bit softer, like that. And so this is the easy way if like painting light and shadow is difficult. If you go with these little steps and these many layers, you can go really slow and really comfortable, every shadow on its own, and adjust it bit by bit and then come out with a pretty good result. Because otherwise, if you want to paint this incorrectly and this incorrectly and everything on the same layer without control over that, you need to have already a really good feeling for what you paint in where, you know. And this separate layers for everything and adjust them separately makes it a lot easier, right? Okay. Yeah, that's basically the feedback. Yeah, I think that's it. Just play around with light and shadow, maybe a little bit more ambient light in here. This side here seems a little bit more green. This side here seems a little bit more purple, although you don't see it on the bodybuilder. So they used some different lights for these kind of effects. Anyways, okay. Was this the last one? Sorry. Yes. Okay, pretty cool. Whew. Oh, wow. That was a long one again. What's the time? Oh, 2. Oh my God. We got over the time by a lot. All right. I hope you like that live stream. We can talk a little bit more. Although we already are over the time. Again, if you haven't purchased the Black Friday bundle yet, maybe do that. Thank you very much for all of the entries into the challenge this week. And next week, like I said, we're going to do Instagram feedback challenge. So you can post your Instagram account. I will only feedback it, of course, if there is nothing on there that has any problems with the stream. No nudity or anything like that in the pictures. Okay, good. All right, I hope that was interesting from the color theory, from the feedbacks, everything. Was very nice. We had a little visit from Lolo, and Pelusa is sleeping over there, so not waking up. More gear talk. By the way, I want to announce this next month. Not now, but I can do in live stream maybe a little bit. I will do the videos about videos of my photo shootings behind the scene and talking about my gear and talking about artistic experience, stuff like that. I will put that on my Patreon page because right now I don't have so much that I'm doing for my patrons because everything is happening in the Facebook group and on my channel, but mostly in the Facebook group. So all the rewards I had before are now in the Facebook group. So I want to do some more rewards for the patrons. So you can check that out if you want to. But just so you know, I will stop the $1 tier starting in December. So if you want to subscribe to it, don't choose the $1 tier because this will go away in one day. right? It will go away at the at 1st of December or at the end of this month, right? Okay, so in 1 day. All right. Okay, good. I hope that was fun. My stomach says he needs some food right now. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. It was really cool to have you, and see you soon. Okay, bye. Have a good night. Bye.